Wine Guy Mike about Thanksgiving dinner. What wines Thanksgiving dinner? Now, this is really a two-sided question because there's if you are hosting a Thanksgiving dinner or if you've been invited to a Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, it's always a big mystery, you know, what do I serve and what do I bring?
Yeah.
And I wanted to address that from a varietal standpoint. So when pairing wines and food, it's really important that they complement one another. And we don't turn it into a wine and food competition. Like turkey, for instance, roasting a turkey is the example we're using for the show this week. That is a light to medium textured meat. We know we're going to serve a gravy with it, so that comes into play when we're selecting our wines. And it's all about acid. Acid when cooking, acid when choosing wines, brings out all the incredible nuances in food. That's what brings out the big, bold flavors that we love. And that's, when it's done right, wines really enhance.
So it's not as easy as, I would think, let's see, the turkey is white meat, it's lighter colored, so you go with the white wine.
Yeah. Those are the old stodgy conventional rules. Those aren't the contemporary rules.
Contemporary rules?
And we do have a lot of white wines here.
Yeah.
In 3 different categories, light, medium, and full-bodied. But we also have a couple red wines.
Okay.
And I've chosen those. The red wines, for example, are a Pinot Noir and a Beaujolais. A Beaujolais is a new, freshly bottled wine. It's not aged at all. It's not aged in oak. It has some acid and some fruit in it. It's a well-balanced wine. Really complements a Thanksgiving dinner beautifully. Okay.
Now, what about the whites?
The whites, you want something that's a little bit dry and crisp. I've got a Chenin Blanc, a Viognier, a Pinot Grigio, or a Pinot Gris. In the medium-bodied wine selections, I've got a Fumé Blanc and a Sauvignon Blanc, which are really one and the same, different names. And the Sancerre, which is a white Sauvignon Blanc from the Loire Valley in France. They're all beautiful wines. In the full-bodied category, we've got a Chardonnay, which is an incredible grape and is made in many, many different styles.
Okay. So if you walked into Grizzly Liquor and you went up to Aspen and you said, okay, Mike said a lot of things. He used a lot of big words. I need something for Thanksgiving. She'd be able to point you in the right direction.
Absolutely, and they've got a great selection and great examples of all these varietals. And there's a lot of different ones in a lot of different price ranges. Thanksgiving Day may be a day when you go, this is a special occasion. I'm going to spring a few extra dollars and buy maybe, rather than a regular Pinot Noir, I'm going to buy an estate bottle, reserve bottle of Pinot Noir. Last week we had Eric Kramer, our friend from Adelsheim Winery, on. They are some of the premier Pinot Noir makers in the country. They make some great Pinot Grigios.
So theirs would work pretty well.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And does it matter if you're having turkey, you know, whether you're having turkey, whether you're having ham, whatever you're having, is it that main course, is it the turkey and the ham that you try to match the wine with, or do you have to take into consideration everything that goes with it too?
You know, you just can't. There's so many side dishes with a Thanksgiving dinner or a Christmas dinner. You really have to focus in on the main entree. And sauces play a huge role in it. And in this case, we've got some gravy. And, you know, it's like when I'm making gravy even, I always use a little shot of Tabasco in that, or I cook with wine too, because of that acid in there really brings out the flavors from the drippings of the turkey. So it's interesting approach, really.
All right, and then listen, if you've been invited to go somewhere and you've said, hey, I'll bring the wine, make sure that you bring, first of all, that you bring enough. Yeah. And second of all, you know, pick something that's going to be complimentary. And I say, you know, making Thanksgiving dinner is a lot of work, and so it's a nice hostess gift to maybe bring one to have with the meal, and then an extra one for your hostess to enjoy when they have an empty house.
What a great point, Paul.
Yeah.
And you know, I recommended maybe a sparkling wine at the end, just to top the Thanksgiving celebration off.
Great.
All right. So apple or pumpkin, Mike?
Without a doubt, it's all apple.
Yeah.
But I'll be sharing my famous apple dessert next week.
Really?
It's called Apple Grunt. comes from the dairy farm that I was raised on in upstate New York.
Now, when you say sharing, do you mean bringing in for us
bringing in
to
or just
have,
telling
or are
us
you
what
just
a
telling us
recipe
the
Oh,
recipe?
no, I don't share. I will share the recipe.
Oh, okay.
I think your assignment should be to make it
I
and
think
bring
I like
some
that.
in for us,
This-
because
I
we
like that
cannot
assignment.
possibly pass on and therefore endorse a recipe
Right.
unless we taste it.
And you know, the one other thing I quickly wanted to recommend, a great idea, is to go to like Chow Mambo, where you can get wines by the glass and try all these different varietals out before Thanksgiving.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that way you know what you're buying and you have an idea of what varietal you like.
Making your own private little wine tasting right
Yeah.
there.
And speaking of
Absolutely.
wine tasting,
that.
you have one coming up tomorrow night.
Grizzly Liquor is hosting a wine tasting at the Depot tomorrow night between 6 and 9.
Okay,
Okay.
so
And
be another
they've got a
chance.
Thanksgiving wine list that's going to be great. Aspen will be there recommending wines, and
Awesome.
be sure to tell them Wine Guy Mike sent you.
All right. Hey, Mike, good to see you.
It's good to be here. Thanks, you
All right,
guys.
we'll see you again next week, just before Thanksgiving, and we'll make sure you're pointed in the right direction. Wine Guy Mike segment on the Scott and Paula Show, brought to you by Chow Mambo and our friends at Grizzly Liquor.